But we're going to talk about the Chicago Bears, from Gorillas to Bears, Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson. This was the thing that Hamilton and I texted about most after the 3 days were done and during. It was very clear what they wanted to attack. It was the O-line. They did it, and they used the early part of this draft to give Caleb more support. They get Colston Loveland, 10th overall. Some people don't love it. I love it. Smooth guy. We talked to him. They grabbed Mizzou receiver Luther Burden at the top of the second round. We gave him lots of love. Also somebody that had questions going in to the draft, but we were big fans here on the show. He's going to fill that slot receiver role beautifully, be the security blanket, a guy that can certainly help out Caleb, a yak guy. Both Loveland and Burden, versatile pieces. They're matchup nightmares. Adding these two with DJ Moore, Rome, Ben Johnson calling the shots, that's amazing. Kudos to them. And the free agency splurge didn't stop them from adding to the O-line or the trenches defensively either. You can do more in a single offseason to support your young quarterback than this Bears organization did. You cannot, guys. It is up to Caleb now, of course, to get on the field, OTAs, all of that, put it all together. I'm going to ask Luke Kuechly, who has been right on about Caleb, has been right on about the Bears this entire time, one of the smartest minds in the business. I'm going to ask him what he thinks and whether or not Caleb can, and what he still needs maybe to put it together when it comes to, they set him up now for success. We had this going into rookie year, best situation, best this. Now he's got Ben Johnson. Like what could be holding him back from having a transcendent second season? We'll ask Luke that. If you guys have questions, hit me up at Up and Adam Show, hit up the YouTube chat. Sticking with the theme of sort of supporting the quarterback, you cannot not talk about what the Patriots did. Come on. Elliott Wolf, and Elliott with one L, as we talked to him at the owners meeting, they spent 4 of their 11 total picks on the offensive side of the ball. Hallelujah. They land the top tackle in Will Campbell, who's going to fight and die. That was a fight and die. They took him 4th overall. The top center in this class, and Jared Wilson in the 3rd round. We love the Travion Henderson pick. Obviously, he'll help because he can catch. He can help Drake a lot. And him and Ramondre Stevenson, nice little 1-2 punch, some speed, some explosiveness. You already have the power there with Ramondre. There's a little Sonic and Knuckles part 2 action going on there. And then Kyle Williams, the Washington receiver, to add to the receiver room with Stephon Diggs. He's a big play threat. He finished top 5 in the country in touchdowns last year. He can play on the outside. He can play in the slot. You cannot not love what Vrabes and company have done with this offense and the Patriots. And I'm trying to think, Hammy, Will Campbell, before we get to that, do we have odds? Sorry, are there Patriots odds involved in this at all? I'm just curious.
We don't have...
In that division, what's that division shaken out to look like? I'm trying to think like...
The Bills are the heaviest division favorite in the league right now. The Patriots have moved up a little bit. The Dolphins are second at plus 500, but the Patriots are right there at plus 550 to win that AFC East right now. And let me look at the playoff odds.
Would you say they're a playoff team? Like I'm flirting heavy with that. I'm at the bar sending drinks down that way.
They're making moves. They're plus 168 right now to get in the playoffs. So they're climbing up to even money. And you got to think, too, with that division taking a little bit of a hit, we don't really know what the Jets are going to be. The Dolphins have lost some pieces.
Yeah.
Those are 4 games that are very winnable within the division, plus the last place schedule on top of that. They're going to have a chance.
Here we go. The Patriots are going to the playoffs. 100%.
Let's go.
To add like even just some, this Belichick stuff, just to like add to that. I'm rooting for it. I'm here for it. I think Vrabes, we know he can take a team into a deep playoff berth situation. Like I love this quarterback. I think they did make all the right moves. And they're going to fight and die their way into the playoffs. This is a playoff team. What are their odds to make the playoffs, you said?
Plus 168.
They're in. Smart money there on FanDuel Sportsbook. Listen to me. And then to get to the Will Campbell, who, I'm just going to tell you, Hamilton, I fell in love with Will Campbell. I fell in love with his family. I know his agent. He picked a great agent who only picks works with players who are that dude. I love his girlfriend. I thought she looked stunning on the red carpet. I loved like the way she looked when he was on the show, just like the vibes I was getting from his entire family. There was laughter. There was crying when he was on our show as we were freezing our butts off. Here's what he had to say about the kind of guy he is. And this is before, of course, he realized that he'd be going to the Patriots, at least publicly. Is Variable cool?
Yeah, he's cool. It's my kind of guy.
I haven't really had a conversation with him, weirdly enough. What is he like?
He's like, just like me. I mean, we did a little.
Like he'd wear the draft. My favorite thing about you, I want you to know, and what I will say about you in 10 years when you're an All-Pro 9 times over, is that you wore the draft T-shirt. You just wore the you wore
It's
the NFL.
Free.
You wore the free draft T-shirt, and that's all, really, truly, all I needed to know about you. And I have it all here.
Yeah, it's free.
And you didn't wear the Rolex, which I would wear the Rolex and not wear the free T-shirt. I liked it because he doesn't care, and everybody, it's like you're making a statement. You're getting photographed everywhere. You might, care what you look like. Your team might care what you look like. He got out of bed. He's like, I am about ball. Him and Vrabel are two huge peas in a pod, in an AFC East pod. Okay. That's going to matter. I also want to say this. I never thought anything could irritate me more than hand size Twitter until I found myself on the arm length Twitter side of TikTok and Twitter yesterday. And everyone, oh my gosh, to those of you insane enough to think that Will Campbell cannot succeed because his arms are only 33 inches, voila, feast your eyes on this, people. Okay, here we go. You heard of these guys? Joe Thomas, Jason Peters, Sewell, Slater. These are tackles with arms in the 33-inch range. Okay? Shut up. Taylor Lewan, one of these guys. Donald Penn. We're seeing the comps to Taylor Lewan. He likes those comps with the athleticism, the power, and edge that Will Campbell has out there. He's going to be on a level with all these guys soon. I have no doubt about it. And we're going to look back and we're going to be like, arm length Twitter, you're so stupid. You know what wasn't stupid? What the Patriots were able to pull off. Okay. Let's talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. Duke Tobin, Zach Taylor. There was obviously a clear plan of attack. We're going to strengthen the defensive front. We're going to protect Joe Burrow. And they executed that plan perfectly. Superhuman pass rusher Shamar Stewart, who I talked to not once, not twice, but 3 times on draft day out of Texas A&M in the first round. He was very excited when he came over to me after, I must say, when he came over to me, let me see where I am. After he was drafted. So once he became a Bengal, I said, how do you feel? And I said, here's what I need from you. This team means a lot to me. This team is in a window. This team needs to get Joe Burrow the ball and they need to help him out. And they got a new defensive coordinator. And I'm worried about the defense in general because I was last year, as I should be. And he said, what do you mean? They have 2 Trey Hendricksons, not 1. Anymore. He was right away. He knew what was going on. He didn't know what Houday was, as we all saw, but he, at least on my Twitter, he wants to play with Trey. He puts himself up there. I hope we see that happen. Figure it out with him because these two really would be, in my opinion, one of the best, maybe the best pass rushing tandem in the NFL this year. So excited to have him. He's excited to be there. Let's treat him well. And we'll ask Luke Kuechly about him as well. Demetrius Knight out of South Carolina, really better against the run with him and the pass. He's very Jermaine Pratty. I bet that sort of, if his trade request is granted, I feel like they cover their bases there. And then the protect Joe Burrow portion of the program, Fairchild out of Georgia. That may be the steal of this entire draft. He's All-American. He allowed 1 sack. I'm looking at the number right here. He allowed 1 quarterback hit and over 2,500 snaps. What? For the Bulldogs. So, I think he'll be making an impact in week 1. There you go. Which is where they need it to happen. You got to get a quick start. And I love that they grabbed our friend of the show, Taj Brooks, in the 6th round. This is one of the best pass protecting running backs in this class. I asked him what he does best. He goes, pass protect. On top of that, this dude loves 100-yard games. He rushed for over 100 in every game he played last year. Ashton Genty is the only other running back that can say that in this class. So the Bengals have a lot to figure out still, a lot of decimals, especially with the Troy Hendrickson situation, but they got better in all the ways in the plan of attack. Whatever they had figured out, they went and accomplished just that. How does Shamar Stewart fit into the scheme that I think they're keeping the same sort of Lou Anarumo-y thing going on?